Hey guys, this is Exy, and I'd like to talk a bit about the odds of evolution. Now, a lot of videos I've seen talk about how unlikely it is for humans to have evolved, or for life to have evolved, how unlikely it is that the Earth is perfectly suited for us to live on. And they come up with these huge numbers, these quadrillions to one, trillions to one. Normally takes up 3 lines on the video saying this is how unlikely it is for us to be here. And if you do any statistics, what they're doing is they're looking at a specific outcome and seeing what the odds are of that occurring, rather than an outcome occurring at all. So to go from your basic life, original signs, up to modern humans, the odds of getting from there to there are pretty slim. It's very small to think of all these tiny, tiny changes, all the mutations happening just right, and all the environmental factors driving it in just the right direction at the right time, in the right stage of every creature's life, for it to wind up where we are now. The odds against it are staggering, but the odds of basic life evolving into more complex life over billions of years is pretty much a certainty. It will develop, mutations will happen, the environment will drive it forward, and you're going to get more complex life. Now, I severely doubt if you ran time again from now, wiped out life, started off with some basic multicellular creatures or monocellular, and see how they started and how they developed, I very much doubt you'd get humans again. You could end up anywhere because it's so many tiny variables all the way across history that the odds of the same things happening again are staggeringly small. I mean, you could have some creatures that are going to just be sat around eating grass, living at peace with the planet. Could be some kind of feathered lizards sat around having pretty similar discussion to this now. Or you could have something that's conquered the universe by now, colonised across the galaxies. But something more complex is a pretty much certainty to have evolved. But to end up with humans as a specific outcome is very unlikely. I think about it as if you saw a window into the future and you saw a child, say a boy, and this is your great grandson, and so 10 generations in the future, say, and you see him and there he is, and you go, wow, right, so you find yourself a mate, you start reproducing, your kids reproduce, and so on. Now, the odds of you ending up with that specific child require you to meet exactly the right woman or partner, being if you're a girl, finding exactly the right partner, need to conceive on pretty much exactly the same days as before, and probably to some extent you might be in similar positions. I believe that has some effect on fertility, but everything will have to go identical to how it was in your vision into the future to wind up with the same child. And to get in the right egg and sperm combination throughout 10 generations, the odds against hitting it dead on are astronomically small, ridiculously small. But if you keep reproducing for 10 generations, assuming we don't blow ourselves up, hit by a meteor or whatever, after 10 generations there is going to be a child. So the odds of a child coming up, pretty high, but the odds of that specific child you saw, ridiculously low. So don't let a specific outcome make you think that something's unlikely, because it's almost certain to happen, just maybe not as specific as you're led to believe. Another thing coming up is the odds of the Earth being so perfectly balanced for life, and it was just a bit further out, it'd be too cold and water would freeze. If it was a bit closer in, then the water would boil and it'd kill all life in the oceans. So if you look at the galaxy, current estimates for stars in the galaxy are between about 200 and 400 billion. That's just stars in this galaxy. There are trillions more galaxies than that, but just in our galaxy, between 200 and 400 billion stars. And conservative estimates, what are conservative numbers? Be fair. So we stay with 200 billion stars. Conservative estimates at the moment are saying about 20% of stars will have a planet around. Looking for exoplanets is kind of a new science. We only really started in the last 15 years. So far we found about 300. But we found over 100 just since the start of 2007, so it's really taken off. So yes, if you just look at 20% of your 200 billion stars will have a planet. So that's assuming there's only one planet. Go conservative again. That's 40 billion planets. 40 billion planets just in our solar system, in our galaxy. Now, they're not all going to be habitable. Some will be gas giants, too hot, too far away, whatever, not orbiting a good sun or neutron star. So let's say these are my numbers now rather than something that's accepted. Let's say 1 in 1,000 of those is habitable. So 999 are junk, and just the one that's left over out of the 1,000 is good. Using that, there are 40 million planets that are habitable just in our galaxy. So 40 million planets that could support life. Bear in mind, just in our solar system, we've got Earth, Mars and Venus. Earth clearly supporting life. Mars and Venus both look like they could have done in the past. Maybe not so much now, but they were habitable at some point. So that's 3 possibly habitable planets just in our solar system. So even taking one planet around each of these stars, 20% in the galaxy, you're at 40 million planets. So one of the statistics I keep hearing is, the Earth is so perfectly balanced for life, and there'll always be some analogy. It'd be like shooting a bow and arrow left-handed behind your back to hit a target the size of a pea on a barn 2 miles away or something. And I don't know where these numbers are coming from. I think most of the time they're pulling them out their ass. But the odds of, again, it's the specifics. The odds of it exactly happening on this place in exactly that way are ridiculously small. But bear in mind, when you're shooting that arrow over your shoulder, there's not just the one target, you've got 40 million targets there, and life could have cropped up on any one of them. Life may well have cropped up on any one of them. There's the Drake equation, which you might want to look up, trying to estimate the number of possible developments of life in the galaxy. But don't really want to get into that right now. Just talk about numbers. So you've got 40 million targets you could hit. It's not just the one, because there are all these other planets. And the fact that the Earth is suitable for sustaining life is the reason we're here. If it wasn't, we wouldn't be here just having this conversation. So any planet in our galaxy that could support life, we could have been there. Another species could have been there. Other civilizations all over the place. And again, this is only looking in one galaxy, the galaxy we're in, the Milky Way, and there are trillions of others. So remember, the odds of life cropping up, life is awesome, it's great, it's amazing. I'm amazed by it most days. The odds of it cropping up in a specific place at a specific time are small and tiny, but the odds of it happening at all are high. So try not to get bogged down by all these probabilities, because there's a hell of a lot of chances, not just this one chance in 40 billion, million, quadrillion of us being here, because there are 40 million chances just in this solar system, in this galaxy, of us being here. So, we are amazing, it's great to be here, but there are lots of possibilities for life to have evolved. So keep that in mind, and don't let them get you down. Cheers.